today I'm joined by my guest, Mr. Mike Delap from Homebox. But today we're really here to talk about PropX, aren't we?
We certainly are, David. Thank you. And yes, I will put my other hat on just to talk through this in the right fashion.
So you have recently become a trustee of the Property Market Trust, as have I, and we're both relatively new to the role. But I think what's really exciting is the ways in which we are finding to sort of raise money for this wonderful cause, being PropX being one of them. And that is proving to be a real sort of, it's a conference with a difference, isn't it? So you're going to be one of our speakers. All of the talks touch on something that's very close and personal to the speaker. Tell us a little bit about yours.
Sure. So, funny enough, I was knocking down the door to get a speaking slot here because, when this first came to light that they needed, I say good speakers, they needed speakers with a personal story that could sort of lead into professional / sort of personal takeaways. I was mad keen to take part because actually I really believe in the story that I've got to share, and also I don't think it exists anywhere else. I could be wrong. I might have a viewer in Algeria that
before. Now, without giving away too many spoilers, is there anything you can tell us about it?
Definitely. So yes, I'm going to try and keep this spoiler free ish. But no, I have I have a story which centers around adoption, because I've literally spent all of my life either being an adopted child or an adoptive parent, which is where I think the uniqueness kicks in, or certainly, rare. But it's really a story that kind of builds on that. And to be fair, it's also a personal story in the sense that I got a lot wrong growing up, and I didn't take a lot into my adult life that helped me cope very well in my adult life because of those sort of surroundings. But it's actually a story that kind of leads me to, I suppose I learned things the hard way. And actually, I learned a very strong lesson about it. Basically, one day I had an epiphany off the back of what I was getting wrong all the time, and kind of came up with this disciplined way to structure my own life so that I felt very secure in my mental well-being. And I've stuck to it ever since it came into my head about 12, 13 years ago. So it really is a story that's kind of centered around, funny enough, getting a lot wrong, but learning from the mistakes and actually turning it into something that you can take away and go, do you know what? If there are people listening to this story, I think a lot of them will look at it and think, do you know what? I can discipline myself in a very similar way and take these lessons and, make sure that I'm conducting my own life in a similarish way so that I feel happy with myself as well. I feel like I did an all right job there of
you think people can take away, but you've already answered that. And the idea of these talks is that they're going to be more, I suppose, like a TEDx style lecture, if you like. Will this be the first time that you've spoken in an IMAX cinema without people going, shh?
Yeah, I'm glad you strapped that last bit on, because I was just about a very similar joke about, not my first time in an IMAX and people not liking what I'm saying, but no, it certainly is the first time I'll be stood up in a consensual fashion with people wanting to sort of semi-listen to me. But no, I mean, I've obviously seen the venue we're at, and obviously where the event's being held, and I mean, super exciting. It was a great venue as well. Never been, so going to greatly look forward to the day.
Fantastic. And it's certainly going to be a great day out. So it's September the 20th, where it's all going down. There is still some tickets available. If you rush, you can buy yours today. And all the profits from this are going directly to great causes. And you and I have had a bit of a almost like a steep learning curve over the past few weeks. We've been involved in all sorts of decisions and applications and things that. But what is amazing to me is the range of different people that this charity helps, and how, I mean, I never knew that such a thing existed. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, it fills me with great pride every single week when I see something new come into the chat. And don't get me wrong, I know our WhatsApp chat is a nice jungle to try and wade through to sort of keep on top of things. But I think, I mean, a couple of things stand out. I mean, first off, you're absolutely right. I perhaps when I first signed up thought, actually, applicants to me in my head before I joined in and became a trustee were, almost like in my head that sort of come from the same two pigeonholes. But very quickly a week in, I was like, so you were wrong, Mike, massively. Because you're absolutely right. I don't think there should be anybody out there who sits there going, do I qualify for this? I'm going through a struggle in my life. Can I get help? The broad answer, and I've seen how we conduct ourselves, is we'll find some way to help. That it really makes me beam with pride that I can be part of that. But I think also as well, the other thing that has really made me feel warm about it is our lineup of trustees are really the biggest collection of most sort of affable, but also different characters that I've ever met in my life. But to actually, I feel like we do such a good job of knitting it all together into everyone's got different views, but it kind of very quickly forms part of a whole, whole conclusion that you don't get to if you think this stuff through yourself as well. So just being part of that, and just being part of that collective is made me professionally feel very happy. But just what happens on the end of it and seeing how people benefit from this, even is far more important and even more so as well.
Fantastic. Well, if you're watching this and you want to come on the day for a bit of inspiration, but also to see that change happening and to see the sort of help that we're able to offer people in person, and to get a little inkling of the kind of magic that we get to see on a week-to-week basis, please do come along. It's a great cause. Mike will be there. I can't wait to hear him speak. Mike, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for everything that you're doing for the Trust.
Very, very welcome, and thank you very much for having me.